QML, because it has property bindings and the QML objects are very, very strikingly similar to QObjects, you now have a lot of really cool things that you can do. Let's go ahead and make a new project. And we've got just our standard little project here. And I'm going to plug in some code. And what we're going to really demonstrate here is that things have signals, they have slots that they're connected to, you can have methods and properties, and there's all sorts of different goodness in here. Let's go ahead and jump in. Let's say image, and I'm just going to copy and paste this. Extra long file there. And let's say width 150, height, and let's call this 100. Not really doing anything too much from the norm we haven't done already. We're going to say 0.25. And let's go ahead and center this. We're going to drop an anchor. You should have a fundamental knowledge of what's going on here. We have a root object. In that root object, we have a child, and we're setting some properties here. And we've already demonstrated in another video that we can do what's called property bindings, but I want to really kind of drive this home, what's happening under the hood here. We're going to say text input, which allows us to input some text. Again, QML is very, very easy to understand. And we're going to say my input. And let's say text. Hello world. Very simple, very easy to understand. And let's go ahead and anchor this as well. So we're going to say anchors, and let's go ahead and center in parent. And let's run this and see what it looks like. Now you notice right off the bat, we have this parent-child hierarchy. So we have a parent, the root object, the window, two children, an image, and a text input. Now, they're also overlaid. It's not hello world underneath. That's actually pretty interesting. And you can actually now edit that text input. Very, very cool. Let's go ahead and take this guy and do a simple text. And let's call this my text. And we're going to property bind this. So we're going to say my input dot text. So what are we really doing here? Well, we have this text input called my input. And then we have a text field, which just displays text, doesn't let you edit it. And we're property binding. We're saying this text is equal to my input text. So as this input changes, a signal is emitted out in cute C++ land, the back end, and it is hitting a slot here, and it's automatically connecting. So let's save and run. You can see here's our text. We didn't drop an anchor, so it's just up here in the corner, and as I type, you'll see it actually change. And that might be super small, so we can actually balloon this out a little bit, and we'll say font, and we want to say pixel size, let's say 25. And we're going to set the pixel size 25 on this as well. That should be a little easier to read. So we're going to go to this text input, and you can see it in real time changing up here. So as we type, that signal is emitted and it's going out to that slot. And that's all happening because of property bindings. There's a lot more that actually happens under the hood, but I wanted you to be aware that that's kind of what's going on here. So really, it begs the question is, what are the limitations of these little components that we're working with? Well, really, not much. If we look at a QML object, you can see that, well, they're pretty standard, and it's kind of boilerplate. It says, a QML object type is a type from which a QML object can be instantiated. Yeah, that's a tongue twister. What does that really mean, though? It just means you can create something. But if you scroll down, defining object types from C++, now we're getting somewhere. What this is really saying is you can actually create types in C++ using, ta-da, QObject, which is where it's getting its signals and slots from and its memory management of the parent-child hierarchy. So because you already understand QObject from QCore, you know how memory management works, you know how to connect signals and slots and things of that nature. It's just done for you automatically. And we're going to cover this a little bit more in depth later on using QProperty.